Hello, and welcome back to English in Advance, the podcast dedicated to helping you master the nuances of the English language one step at a time. I am your host, Jessica, and I am absolutely thrilled that you have chosen to spend your time with us today to improve your fluency and build your confidence. We all know that learning a language is not just about memorizing grammar rules or vocabulary lists from a textbook. It is about connecting with people, expressing your true self, and understanding the rhythm and flow of natural speech. That is exactly what we are going to focus on in today's extended episode. We have a very special masterclass planned for you where we will dive deep into 100 daily English expressions that will help you sound more like a native speaker and less like a robot. We are going to explore idioms, phrasal verbs, and those handy little phrases that pop up in everyday conversations all the time. I will explain each one clearly, weave them into realistic scenarios to show you how to use them in context, and even give you a moment to practice them yourself so you can really make them stick. So if you are ready to take your English to the next level and start speaking with more natural flair, let's get started right now. Let's begin with a phrase that you will hear in almost every casual conversation, especially when someone is explaining why they did something or giving a reason for their opinion. The phrase is to be honest. This is a great way to introduce a truth that might be a little bit blunt or personal, or simply to emphasize that you are telling the truth. For example, if a friend asks you if you liked the movie you just watched, and you really didn't, you might say, to be honest, I found it a bit boring. Or perhaps you are at work and your colleague asks for your opinion on a project. You could say, to be honest, I think we need more time to finish this. It adds a layer of sincerity to your speech. Now, here is your chance to practice. Imagine someone asks you if you like cooking. Try to answer by saying, to be honest, followed by your true feeling. Go ahead and say it out loud. Great job. Let's keep that momentum going because the next expression is incredibly useful for polite requests. We often use, do you mind if I followed by a verb when we want to do something and we are checking if it is okay with the other person? For instance, if you are in a meeting and the room is a little warm, you might say, do you mind if I open the window? Or if you are sitting at a coffee shop and need to charge your phone, you could ask the person next to you, do you mind if I use this outlet? It is much softer than just saying, I want to do this. Now you try. Imagine you want to take a seat in an empty chair next to someone. Ask, do you mind if I sit here? Perfect. You are already sounding more polite and natural. Moving on, we often find ourselves in situations where we need to manage time or expectations, and for that, we use the expression, it won't take long. This reassures people that whatever you are doing will be quick. If your boss asks you to finish a report, you might say, don't worry, it won't take long. Or if a friend is waiting for you to get ready to go out, you can shout from the other room. Just 5 minutes, it won't take long. It is a very comforting phrase to hear. Let's practice this one together. Imagine a friend asks if fixing a computer problem will take all day. You should respond with, no, it won't take long. Say it with confidence. Excellent. Now, sometimes we need to apologize for being late or for a small mistake, and for that, we use sorry for the delay. This is professional and polite. You might use it in an email if you took a while to reply, saying sorry for the delay in getting back to you. Or if you are running late for a meeting, you can walk in and say, Sorry for the delay, everyone. It shows respect for other people's time. Now you try it. Imagine you are sending a text because you are late to meet a friend. Type it out or say it out loud, sorry for the delay. Wonderful. Let's talk about how we share information that we have heard from others, but we aren't 100% sure is true. For this, we use I heard that followed by the statement. This is perfect for office gossip or casual news. For example, I heard that Sarah is going to move to another department. Or you might say, I heard that they are going to build a new shopping mall downtown. It is a great way to start a conversation. Now you try. Imagine you want to tell someone a rumor about a new restaurant opening. Say, I heard that a new Italian restaurant is opening next week. Very good. Now, sometimes you need to speak up for yourself or set a small boundary. And a very common way to do this gently is by saying, I'd rather not. This means you would prefer not to do something. If someone offers you food you don't like, you can simply say, thank you, but I'd rather not. Or if someone asks you to go to a party but you are tired, you can say, I'd rather not go out tonight. It is polite but firm. Let's practice. Imagine a friend offers you a ride home, but you want to walk. Say, thank you, but I'd rather not. Well done. Now let's look at a phrase that is very common when we want to interrupt someone politely or add something to a conversation. We say, by the way, this signals a change of topic. You might be talking about the weather and then suddenly remember you wanted to ask about something else, so you say the weather is nice today. By the way, did you call your mom? Or at the end of a meeting, someone might say, by the way, the next meeting is on Tuesday. It is a bridge between topics. Your turn. Imagine you are talking to a colleague about work and you remember you need to ask them about their weekend. Say, work is going well. By the way, how was your weekend? Great. Now, if you want to ask someone to repeat something because you didn't hear them clearly, instead of just saying what, you can say, could you say that again? It is much more polite. For instance, if the music is too loud and you didn't catch what someone said, you say, I'm sorry, could you say that again? Or on a bad phone call, you might say, I missed that last part. Could you say that again? Try it now. Imagine you are on a bus and someone mumbles something to you. Ask, could you say that again? Perfect. Let's continue with a very positive expression. When you want to agree with someone enthusiastically, you can say, I couldn't agree more. This is stronger than just saying, I agree. If someone says that this restaurant has the best pizza in town, you can reply, I couldn't agree more. Or if a colleague says that we need to work harder on the project, you can say, I couldn't agree more. It shows you are completely on the same page. Practice this one. Imagine a friend says that vacations are necessary for mental health. Respond with, I couldn't agree more. Excellent. Now, sometimes we have to cancel plans or change them, and we need to explain why. A common reason is something came up. This means an unexpected event or issue occurred. For example, if you can't make it to a dinner, you text your friend, sorry, I can't make it. Something came up at work. Or you might say, I was going to go to the gym, but something came up and I had to stay home. It is a vague but acceptable way to explain a change of plans. Now you try. Imagine you have to cancel a dentist appointment. Tell the receptionist, I can't come today because something came up. Good job. Moving forward, let's look at a phrase that encourages people to be realistic or practical. We often say, let's be realistic. This is used when someone has an idea that is a bit too idealistic or impossible. If a friend says they want to buy a mansion next year, you might say, "Let's be realistic. We don't have that kind of money yet." Or in a business meeting, someone might suggest launching a product in one day, and you could say, "Let's be realistic. It takes at least 6 months to develop." It brings the conversation back to earth. Your turn. Imagine someone thinks they can learn English in 1 week. Respond with, "Let's be realistic. It takes time." Perfect. Now, here's a phrase that is all about relaxing and doing things without a strict plan. Play it by ear. This is one of my favorites. It means to decide what to do as the situation develops rather than making a strict plan beforehand. If a friend asks what time you want to meet for dinner and you aren't sure when you will finish work, you can say, "Let's play it by ear. I'll text you when I'm done." Or if you are traveling and don't have a strict itinerary, you can say, "We don't have a plan, we're just playing it by ear." It implies spontaneity. Let's practice. Imagine someone asks you what you want to do on Saturday. Say, "I'm not sure. Let's just play it by ear." Very natural. Now, if you want to check if someone is available to talk or meet, a very common question is, "Do you have a minute?" This is polite and checks for their time. You might walk up to a colleague's desk and say, "Do you have a minute to discuss this report?" Or you might call a friend and say, "Do you have a minute to chat?" It respects that they might be busy. Try it. Imagine you need to ask your boss a quick question. Ask, "Do you have a minute?" Great. Now, sometimes people tell you things that are confusing or complicated, and you need to make sure you understood. In that case, you say, "If I understand correctly." This is perfect for professional or serious conversations. After someone explains a complex idea, you can say, "So if I understand correctly, we need to focus on sales first." Or if a teacher gives instructions, you can say, "If I understand correctly, the exam is next Friday." It clarifies information. Your turn. Imagine someone explains that the meeting is in room 302, not 303. Respond with, "If I understand correctly, we are going to room 302. Excellent. Let's go into a phrase that we use when we want to make an effort to improve something. We say make an effort. For example, if you want to learn English, you have to make an effort to practice every day. Or if you are having trouble in a relationship, you might say, "We both need to make an effort to communicate better." It emphasizes active work. Now you try. Imagine you are telling a friend they need to study more. Say, "You need to make an effort if you want to pass the test." Well done. Now, when you want to interrupt a conversation to add a relevant point or correct something, you can use just a quick note. This is very useful in meetings or presentations. A speaker might say, "Just a quick note, the deadline is changed." Or you might say, "Just a quick note before we start, please turn off your phones." It signals a small but important detail. Practice this. Imagine you are starting a meeting and want to remind people about the start time. Say, "Just a quick note, we need to finish by 5 p.m. Good. Moving on, we often use "in the meantime" to talk about what happens during the time between two events. For instance, if you are waiting for your car to be repaired, you might say, "I'll wait at the coffee shop and in the meantime I'll do some work." Or if you are applying for jobs and waiting for a reply, you could say, "I applied to 10 companies. But in the meantime, I'm working on my portfolio." It bridges the gap. Your turn. Imagine you are waiting for a friend to finish shopping. Say, "I'll wait here, and in the meantime, I'll check my emails." Perfect. Now, let's look at a phrase that is essential for making suggestions. How about "we"? This is a friendly way to propose an idea. If you are trying to decide where to eat, you can say, "How about we go to that new burger place?" Or if you are trying to solve a problem at work, you might suggest, "How about we try a different approach? It invites collaboration. Let's practice." Imagine you and a friend are bored. Say, "How about we go for a walk?" Great. Now, sometimes we are busy and we have to refuse a request or postpone it. A polite way to do this is by saying, "I'm a bit tied up right now." This means you are busy or occupied. If a colleague asks you to help them with something while you are on a call, you can whisper, "I'm a bit tied up right now. Can I help you later?" Or if a friend calls while you are cooking, you can say, "I'm a bit tied up right now. Can I call you back?" It sounds much better than just saying, "I'm busy." Try it now. Imagine someone asks you to go out for lunch, but you have too much work. Say, "I'd love to, but I'm a bit tied up right now." Excellent. Let's continue with a phrase that shows you are listening carefully. When someone is explaining something complicated, it is good to say, "I see what you mean." This shows empathy and understanding. If a friend complains about their boss being difficult, you can say, "I see what you mean. That sounds tough." Or if someone explains a technical concept, you can say, "I see what you mean, so the data flows this way." It validates their point. Your turn. Imagine someone explains why they are tired because they slept badly. Respond with, "I see what you mean. Lack of sleep is hard." Very good. Now, here is a phrase that is used when you want to leave a conversation or a place politely. We say, "I'd better get going." This is softer than saying, "I am leaving." If you are at a party and it is getting late, you might say, "It's been great, but I'd better get going." Or, if you are visiting a friend and have an early start the next day, you can say, "I'd better get going. I have a busy day tomorrow." It signals the end of the interaction smoothly. Practice this. Imagine you are on the phone with a friend and need to hang up to cook dinner. Say, "It was nice talking to you, but I'd better get going." Great. Now, when you want to check if something is suitable or allowed, you can ask, "Is it okay if I?" This is similar to "Do you mind?" but slightly different in nuance. It asks for permission or validation. For example, if you are in a library and want to drink water, you might ask, "Is it okay if I drink water here?" Or if you want to post a photo of your friend on social media, you should ask, "Is it okay if I post this picture?" It is respectful. Now you try. Imagine you want to turn on the fan in a room with other people. Ask, "Is it okay if I turn on the fan?" Perfect. Let's talk about a phrase that means to relax and stop worrying about something. We say, "Take it easy." This can be used as a farewell, like "Have a nice day," or as advice to someone who is stressed. If a friend is running around frantically trying to clean the house, you might tell them, "Take it easy. You have plenty of time." Or when saying goodbye to a friend, you can say, "See you later. Take it easy." It implies a calm approach. Your turn. Imagine a friend is stressing out over an exam. Tell them, "Just take it easy and do your best." Well done. Now, if you want to show that you are willing to help someone, you can let me know if you need a hand. Offering a hand is a friendly, idiomatic way to offer help. If you see a colleague struggling with a heavy box, you can say, "Let me know if you need a hand." Or if a friend is moving houses, you can say, "Let me know if you need a hand this weekend." It is casual and kind. Let's practice. Imagine your roommate is carrying many groceries. Say, "That looks heavy. Let me know if you need a hand." Great. Moving on, we often use as far as I know when we are sharing information, but we want to indicate that there might be more to it that we don't know. It limits our responsibility for accuracy. If someone asks if the store is open on Sundays, you might say, as far as I know, they are open until 6 p.m. Or if someone asks about a friend's relationship status, you could say, as far as I know, they are still dating. It shows you are not the ultimate authority. Now you try. Imagine someone asks if the meeting is still on for tomorrow. Respond with, as far as I know, it is. Good job. Now, here is a phrase that is used when we want to stop doing something or leave a job or a habit. We say call it a day. This means to stop working for the day. If you have been working on a project for hours and you are tired, you might say to your team, let's call it a day and continue tomorrow. Or, if you are cleaning your house and are tired, you can say, I'm going to call it a day and finish the rest tomorrow. It is a very common workplace expression. Practice this one. Imagine you and a friend have been studying for 4 hours. Say, I'm tired, let's call it a day. Perfect. Now, let's look at a phrase that is very useful when you want to soften a statement or make it sound less harsh. We use sort of or kind of. This means a little bit or to some extent. If someone asks if you are ready to give a presentation and you are nervous, you might say, I'm sort of ready. Or if you didn't enjoy a movie much, you could say it was sort of boring. It is a great filler that makes you sound more casual. Your turn. Imagine someone asks if you like spicy food and you only like a little bit. Say, I sort of like it. Very natural. Now, when you want to talk about a specific skill or quality that someone needs, you can say it takes time and patience. This is a wise phrase used to remind people that things aren't instant. If a friend is frustrated because they aren't learning guitar fast enough, you can say, learning an instrument takes time and patience. Or if you are starting a new business, you might say, building a customer base takes time and patience. It manages expectations. Let's practice. Imagine someone wants to get fit immediately. Tell them, getting fit takes time and patience. Excellent. Let's continue with a phrase that indicates you are thinking about what to say next. We often say, let me see. This buys you a moment to think or to look for something. If someone asks for your phone number and you forget it for a second, you say, let me see, I think it's 555. Oh, 199. Or if someone asks you what you did last weekend and you are trying to remember, you can say, let me see, I think I went to the park. It is very common in speech. Now you try. Imagine someone asks you what the date is next Tuesday. Say, let me see, next Tuesday is the 12th. Great. Now here is a phrase that is used to tell someone not to worry because you will take care of a problem. We say, leave it to me. This shows confidence and responsibility. If a boss asks who can organize the office party, you can volunteer by saying, don't worry, leave it to me. Or if a friend is stressed about booking travel tickets, you can say, leave it to me, I'll find the best deals. It is very reassuring. Practice this. Imagine your mom is worried about fixing a broken shelf. Say, don't worry, Mom, leave it to me. Well done. Moving on, we often use just in case when we do something to prepare for a possible future event. It means as a precaution. If you are going on a picnic and it might rain, you bring an umbrella just in case. Or if you are going on a long drive, you bring extra water just in case the car breaks down. It shows you are prepared. Your turn. Imagine you are going to a concert and think you might need a jacket. Say, I'm bringing a jacket just in case it gets cold. Perfect. Now, if you want to describe something that happens very rarely, you can use once in a blue moon. This is a fun idiom. If someone asks if you eat fast food, and you rarely do, you might say, I eat fast food once in a blue moon. Or if you visit a specific city rarely, you could say, I go to New York once in a blue moon. It paints a vivid picture. Let's practice. Imagine someone asks if you go to the cinema. Say, I go to the cinema once in a blue moon. Great. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to delay a decision or action until a later time. We say put it off. This is a phrasal verb. If you have homework to do, but you want to watch TV instead, you are putting it off. Or if a company is scared to launch a product, they might put it off until next year. It is often used with procrastination. Now you try. Imagine you have to clean your room, but you don't want to do it now. Say, I'm going to put it off until Sunday. Good job. Now, sometimes we do something that causes trouble for someone else, and we need to acknowledge it. We say, sorry to put you out. This is very polite. If you ask a friend for a ride to the airport, which is far away, you might say, thanks for the ride. Sorry to put you out. Or if you ask a colleague to stay late to help you, you can say, I really appreciate your help. Sorry to put you out. It shows you value their time. Practice this one. Imagine you ask a neighbor to collect your mail while you are on vacation. Say, thanks for doing this. Sorry to put you out. Excellent. Let's go into a phrase that means to start doing something with energy and enthusiasm. We say get the ball rolling. This is often used in meetings or projects. If you are in a brainstorming session and no one is talking, you might say, let's get the ball rolling with some ideas. Or if you are planning a trip, you could say, I'll book the flights to get the ball rolling. It implies initiating momentum. Your turn. Imagine you are starting a team meeting and want to begin the discussion. Say, okay, let's get the ball rolling. Who wants to start? Very professional. Now, if you want to say that something is not a problem or you don't mind it at all, you can say, it doesn't bother me. This is about tolerance. If someone asks if the noise outside annoys you, you can say, no, it doesn't bother me. I'm used to it. Or if someone asks if you mind taking the stairs instead of the elevator, you can say, it doesn't bother me at all. It shows you are easygoing. Let's practice. Imagine someone apologizes for smoking near you, but you don't mind. Respond with, don't worry, it doesn't bother me. Great. Moving forward, we often use keep in mind when we want someone to remember a specific fact or detail. For example, if you are giving advice to a traveler, you might say, keep in mind that the shops close early on Sundays. Or if a teacher is giving instructions for a test, she might say, keep in mind that you have only 1 hour. It highlights important information. Now you try. Imagine you are telling a friend about a restaurant you like. Say, we should go there, but keep in mind that it is expensive. Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that is used when you are trying to remember something and you almost have it. We say it's on the tip of my tongue. This is a very common feeling. If you see an actor and recognize his face but can't remember his name, you say his name is on the tip of my tongue. Or if you are trying to remember a word in English, you can say, I know the answer. It's on the tip of my tongue. It is a relatable expression. Let's practice. Imagine you are trying to remember the name of a song. Say, I know that song, but the title is on the tip of my tongue. Very good. Now let's look at a phrase that means to finish something completely or successfully. We say wrap it up. This is similar to call it a day, but is often used for a specific task or presentation rather than the whole day. If a speaker has been talking for a long time, they might say, "I'm going to wrap it up now and take questions." Or if you are packing for a trip, you might say, "Just let me wrap up this last bag and we can go." It signifies completion. Your turn. Imagine you are writing an email and want to finish it. Say, "I just need to wrap up this email and then I'm free." Excellent. Now, if you want to describe a situation that is tense or competitive and you want to reduce the pressure, you can say, "Take the edge off." This is often used about food, drink, or relaxation. If someone is very stressed, a cup of tea might take the edge off. Or if it is a very hot day, a cold drink can take the edge off the heat. It means to make something less intense. Practice this one. Imagine a friend is nervous before a date. Tell them, "Have a glass of water to take the edge off." Great. Let's continue with a phrase that means to improve something or make it better. We say make up for. If you made a mistake, you might do something nice to make up for it. For example, if you forgot your anniversary, you might buy flowers to make up for it. Or if you missed a class, you might study extra hard to make up for the lost time. It is about compensation. Now you try. Imagine you were late to a meeting, so you brought donuts for everyone. Say, "I brought donuts to make up for being late." Well done. Now, sometimes we want to express that a task or situation is not too difficult. We say it's not a big deal. This is a very useful phrase for reassuring people. If someone apologizes for stepping on your foot, you can say, "It's okay, it's not a big deal." Or if you make a small error at work, you can tell your boss, "Don't worry, it's not a big deal. I can fix it." It minimizes the problem. Your turn. Imagine a friend apologizes for forgetting your birthday. Respond with, "It's okay. It's not a big deal." Perfect. Moving on, we often use sooner or later to talk about something that is definitely going to happen, but we don't know exactly when. If you keep playing video games instead of studying, sooner or later your grades will drop. Or if you keep smoking, sooner or later you will have health issues. It implies certainty over time. Let's practice. Imagine someone is ignoring a leaking pipe in their house. Tell them, "You need to fix that. Sooner or later it will burst." Very dramatic but correct. Now, here is a phrase that is used when you want to give someone space or freedom. We say give someone some room. This can be physical space or emotional space. If someone is angry and wants to be alone, you should give them some room. Or if a crowd is too tight, you might ask people to please give me some room. It respects boundaries. Now you try. Imagine a coworker is stressed and working intensely. Say, "Let's give him some room to finish his work. Good job." Let's talk about a phrase that means to manage or handle a situation. We say deal with. This is a very strong phrasal verb. If there is a problem, you have to deal with it. For instance, I have a lot of emails to deal with this morning. Or if a customer is angry, the manager will deal with them. It implies taking responsibility. Your turn. Imagine your sink is broken. Say, "I need to call a plumber to deal with this sink." Perfect. Now, if you want to say that you accept something even though it is not perfect, you can use live with it. This means to tolerate a situation. If you live in an old apartment, you might have to live with the noise of the neighbors. Or if you buy a shirt that is slightly too big, you might just have to live with it. It is about acceptance. Practice this one. Imagine someone complains about the weather being rainy. Respond with, Well, we can't change the weather, we just have to live with it. Great attitude. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to visit a place for a short time. We say stop by. If you are going to the store and your friend lives nearby, you might say, I'll stop by your house for a few minutes. Or if a colleague says they are in your area, they might say, I thought I'd stop by and say hello. It implies a casual visit. Now you try. Imagine you are driving past your friend's work. Say, I'm going to stop by and see if she wants lunch. Very friendly. Moving forward, sometimes we want to check if something is possible or allowed before we do it. We say check if. For example, before you go to the movies, you should check if the tickets are sold out. Or you might ask your boss, can I check if I can take Friday off? It is about verification. Let's practice. Imagine you are at the airport. Say, let me check if our flight is on time. Perfect. Let's go into a phrase that means to understand the true nature of a person or situation. We say see through. This is often used when someone is lying or pretending. If someone is being fake nice to you, you can say, I can see through him. I know he doesn't like me. Or if a scammer tries to trick you, you might say, I saw through their trick immediately. It implies insight. Your turn. Imagine a child is lying about eating the cookie. Say, I can see through your lie, you have chocolate on your face. Good. Now, if you want to describe something that is easy to do, you can say it's a breeze. This is a fun idiom. If someone asks if your new job is hard, you might say, no, it's a breeze. Or if you finish a test quickly, you can say, that test was a breeze. It implies lightness and ease. Practice this one. Imagine you help a friend assemble a chair and it was very easy. Say, that was a breeze. Well done. Moving on, we often use run out of when we have no more of something. If you are printing documents and the printer stops, you might say, we ran out of paper. Or if you are baking and have no eggs, you can say, I ran out of eggs. I need to go to the store. It is about depletion. Now you try. Imagine you are talking on your phone and the screen goes black. Say, oh no, I ran out of battery. Very common. Now, here is a phrase that means to stop doing something, usually a bad habit. We say give up. If you smoke and you decide to stop, you give up smoking. Or if you are trying to solve a puzzle and it's too hard, you might say, I give up. It can mean to quit or to surrender. Your turn. Imagine a friend is trying to lose weight and stops eating sugar. Say, she gave up sugar for a month. Perfect. Let's continue with a phrase that means to be very busy and active. We say on the go. This describes a lifestyle. If you have a job that requires lots of travel, you are always on the go. Or if you have kids and are taking them to school, practice, and games, you are always on the go. It implies constant motion. Let's practice. Imagine someone asks how you are doing. Say, I'm busy, always on the go these days. Very natural. Now, if you want to say that you are excited about something in the future, you can say look forward to. This is a polite and happy expression. If you have a vacation coming up, you can say, I am really looking forward to my trip. Or in an email, you might write, I look forward to hearing from you. It shows anticipation. Now you try. Imagine you are going to see your favorite band. Say, I'm looking forward to the concert on Saturday. Excellent. Now let's look at a phrase that means to wait for something. We say, hang on. This is casual and is used on the phone or in conversation. If you are on the phone and need to look for a pen, you say, hang on a second, let me find a pen. Or if you are walking with a friend and you need to tie your shoe, you can say, hang on, I need to tie my shoe. It asks for a pause. Your turn. Imagine someone calls you and you need to close the door. Say, "Hang on, let me just close the door. Good job." Now, here is a phrase that means to include someone in a group or activity. We say fill someone in. If you missed a meeting, you might ask a colleague to fill you in on what happened. Or if you arrive late to a party, you might ask a friend to fill you in on the gossip. It means to give information. Practice this one. Imagine your friend missed the first episode of a TV show. Say, "Come over later and I'll fill you in." Great. Let's go into a phrase that means to make a big effort to do something difficult. We say go the extra mile. This is a very positive expression in work and relationships. If a waiter gives you excellent service, you can say, "He really went the extra mile." Or if you stay late to help a coworker, you are going the extra mile. It means doing more than is expected. Now you try. Imagine you are praising a student who worked very hard. Say, "She really went the extra mile on this project." Perfect. Finally, for this section, a phrase that means to calm down or relax after being angry is cool off. If two people are arguing, you might tell them to take a break and cool off. Or if it is a very hot day and you jump in a pool, you cool off. It refers to temperature and emotion. Let's practice this final one. Imagine a friend is yelling because they lost their keys. Tell them, "Hey, cool off, we will find them." Excellent. And here we are again, ready to continue our journey into the heart of the English language. We are diving straight into part 2 of our masterclass. I am Jessica, so happy to be continuing with you. We've already covered some fantastic phrases to help you navigate introductions, polite requests, and managing your time. But we are not done yet. English is a rich and vast language, and to truly sound like an advanced speaker, you need a variety of tools in your toolkit. In this next section, we are going to explore even more idioms, phrasal verbs, and collocations that will allow you to express yourself with greater precision and personality. We are going to look at how to talk about problems, how to describe your feelings, how to make plans, and how to handle those tricky social situations where you just need the right words. As always, I will guide you through each expression with clear explanations and real-life examples, and I will give you a moment to repeat them out loud to practice your pronunciation. So, let's keep the momentum going and continue mastering the art of sounding natural in English. Let's start this session with a phrase that is incredibly useful when you are looking for a solution or trying to understand a complex situation. The phrase is, get to the bottom of. This means to find the truth or the cause of a problem. Imagine you are at work and there has been a mistake in the budget. You might say to your team, "We need to get to the bottom of this error before we can move forward." Or perhaps you are at home and your internet stops working randomly. You might call the provider and say, "I need to know what is wrong. Please help me get to the bottom of this." It shows determination and a desire for the facts. Now, you try. Imagine a friend is having a mystery allergy breakout. Tell them, "We need to go to the doctor to get to the bottom of this." Very good. Now, sometimes we need to describe a situation that is becoming less popular or losing power, and for that, we use lose its touch. If a famous singer releases a bad album, people might say, "I think she is losing her touch." Or if a restaurant that used to be amazing starts serving bad food, you could say, "This place has lost its touch." It implies a decline in quality or skill. Let's practice this one. Imagine a sports team keeps losing games. Say, I think the coach is losing his touch. Well done. Moving on, we often use on purpose when we want to say that something was intentional, not an accident. If your brother breaks your favorite toy and you know he did it because he was angry, you can say, you broke this on purpose. Or if you arrive early to a meeting to prepare, you might say, I came early on purpose to get some work done. It clarifies intent. Now you try. Imagine someone accidentally splashes water on you, but you think they did it to be mean. Ask, did you do that on purpose? Perfect. Now let's look at a phrase that is used when we want to praise someone for doing a great job, often better than expected. We say go above and beyond. This is a wonderful compliment. If a coworker stays late to help you finish a project, you can say to your boss, she really went above and beyond for this project. Or if a waiter gives you excellent recommendations and service, you might say, the service here goes above and beyond. It shows excellence. Practice this one. Imagine a friend helps you move house and also cleans your old apartment. Say, thank you so much. You really went above and beyond. Great. Let's continue with a phrase that means to interrupt someone when they are busy. We say catch someone at a bad time. This is a polite way to acknowledge that you might be disturbing someone. If you call your friend and they sound busy or stressed, you might ask, sorry, did I catch you at a bad time? Or if you walk into your boss's office while they are on the phone, you can wait and say, I didn't want to catch you at a bad time. It is very considerate. Your turn. Imagine you text a friend and they reply hours later. You can say, I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time earlier. Very polite. Now, here is a phrase that is all about planning and organizing. We use layout when we explain something clearly or arrange items. If you are presenting a plan, you might say, let me lay out the details for you. Or if you are packing for a trip, you might lay out your clothes on the bed to see what you have. It implies structure and clarity. Now you try. Imagine you are explaining the rules of a game. Say, let me lay out the rules so everyone understands. Excellent. Moving forward, we often use fill someone's shoes when we talk about replacing someone who is very good at their job. This is usually used negatively or as a challenge because it is hard to do. If a great manager leaves a company, people might say, it will be hard to find someone to fill her shoes. Or if a star athlete retires, you might hear, no one can fill his shoes. It means to take over a role and perform as well as the previous person. Let's practice this one. Imagine a beloved teacher is leaving. Say, it is going to be difficult to find a new teacher who can fill her shoes. Good job. Now, if you want to describe a situation that is very unfair, you can say it's not fair. This is a simple but powerful expression. If a student studies hard and still gets a bad grade, they might say, it's not fair. I studied all week. Or if you have to work while your friends are on holiday, you might say, it's not fair. It expresses a sense of injustice. Your turn. Imagine a child gets a bigger piece of cake than you. Jokingly say, hey, that's not fair. Very natural. Now let's look at a phrase that means to manage a situation or to survive a difficult period with limited resources. We say make ends meet. This is often used regarding money. If someone is working 2 jobs just to pay rent and buy food, you might say they are struggling to make ends meet. Or if inflation is high, people might complain that it is getting harder to make ends meet. It is about covering your basic expenses. Now you try. Imagine your friend complains that gas prices are very high. Respond with, Yeah, it is really hard to make ends meet these days. Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that means to feel sad or disappointed because something didn't happen the way you wanted. We say let down. If you promise to help a friend and then you forget, you have let them down. Or if a movie had great trailers but was terrible, you might say, I really felt let down by that movie. It is a heavy feeling of disappointment. Practice this one. Imagine you planned a picnic and it started raining. Say, I'm so disappointed the weather really let me down. Great. Let's go into a phrase that means to reveal a secret or give away information. We say spill the beans. This is a fun and informal idiom. If you are planning a surprise party and someone accidentally tells the person, you can say, don't spill the beans. Or if you have gossip about a celebrity, your friend might say, come on, spill the beans, tell us everything. It implies sharing hidden information. Your turn. Imagine you know who your friend is dating but haven't told anyone yet. Your friend asks you to tell. Say, okay, I'll spill the beans. She is dating Tom. Very fun. Now, if you want to say that you are exhausted or have no energy left, you can say run out of steam. This can be used for people or machines. If you are working on a project and get tired halfway through, you might say, I started strong, but I ran out of steam around 3 p.m. Or if an old car is driving uphill and slowing down, it is running out of steam. It means you lost momentum or energy. Let's practice. Imagine a runner is slowing down at the end of a race. Say he looks like he is running out of steam. Well done. Moving on, we often use keep an eye on when we want to watch something or someone carefully for a short time. If you are at the beach and your friend goes to buy ice cream, you might say, I'll keep an eye on your bags. Or if a parent is cooking and wants to make sure their child is safe, they will keep an eye on them in the garden. It implies monitoring. Now you try. Imagine you are leaving your house for a moment and ask your neighbor to watch your front door. Say, can you keep an eye on my house while I'm gone? Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that means to arrive at the last possible minute. We say, cut it close. If you leave for the airport very late and arrive just as they are boarding, you cut it close. Or, if you finish a test exactly when the timer goes off, you cut it close. It implies a risk of being late. Your turn. Imagine you arrive at the train station just as the train is pulling in. Say, wow, we really cut it close. Excellent. Let's continue with a phrase that means to be busy or occupied with a task. We say tied up with. This is a polite way to say you are busy. If someone asks you to lunch but you are working on a report, you can say, I'm sorry, I'm tied up with a report right now. Or if you are on the phone, you can say, can I call you back? I'm tied up with a client. It sounds professional. Let's practice this one. Imagine a colleague asks if you can help them, but you are in a meeting. Say, I can't help right now. I'm tied up with a meeting. Good job. Now, if you want to describe a situation where you are free and not busy, you can say, have time to kill. This means you have extra time and need something to do. If you arrive at the doctor's office 30 minutes early, you have time to kill. Or if you are waiting for a friend who is late, you might sit in a cafe and have time to kill. It implies waiting. Now you try. Imagine you are at the airport 2 hours early. Say, I have a lot of time to kill before my flight. Very good. Now let's look at a phrase that means to try to do something very difficult and often implies that you are trying your best. We say give it a shot. This is a great way to express willingness to try. If someone asks if you can fix a computer, you might say, I'm not an expert, but I'll give it a shot. Or if a friend invites you to go karaoke, but you are shy, you might say, okay, I'll give it a shot. It is casual and brave. Your turn. Imagine someone asks if you can solve a difficult math problem. Say, I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that means to stay in a difficult situation without giving up. We say stick it out. This shows resilience. If you are in a job that is hard but you want to wait for a promotion, you stick it out. Or if you are at a boring party but you want to see your best friend, you stick it out. It means to endure. Practice this one. Imagine you are hiking and it starts raining, but you want to reach the top. Say, let's stick it out. We are almost there. Great. Moving on, we often use look up to when we talk about admiring someone. If you think your father is a great person, you look up to him. Or if a young basketball player loves a famous athlete, he looks up to him. It means to view someone as a role model. Now you try. Imagine you are talking about a teacher who inspired you. Say, I really looked up to her when I was in school. Excellent. Let's continue with a phrase that means to waste time or be lazy. We say slack off. If you are supposed to be working but you are scrolling on social media, you are slacking off. Or if a student is not doing their homework, the teacher might say, stop slacking off and focus. It is a negative term for not working hard. Let's practice. Imagine your coworker is playing games instead of working. Tell them, hey, don't slack off. We have a deadline. Good job. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to meet someone by chance. We say run into. If you go to the supermarket and see your elementary school teacher, you ran into them. Or if you go to a coffee shop and see your boss, you can say, I ran into my boss at the cafe. It implies an unplanned meeting. Your turn. Imagine you saw a celebrity at the airport. Say, you won't believe who I ran into at the airport. Perfect. Now, if you want to say that you have to deal with a difficult situation, you can say face the music. This is a classic idiom. If you break a window and your parents are coming home, you have to go home and face the music. Or if you make a mistake at work, you have to tell your boss and face the music. It means to accept the consequences. Practice this one. Imagine a child didn't do their homework. Say, he has to go to school and face the music. Very good. Moving forward, we often use keep it to yourself when we want someone to keep a secret. If I tell you a private story, I might say, please keep it to yourself. Or if you have a negative opinion about a gift you received, you should keep it to yourself. It means do not share it. Now you try. Imagine you have a secret about a surprise party. Tell your friend you must keep it to yourself. Great. Now, here is a phrase that means to postpone an event. We say put it off again. Wait, we mentioned it. But let's reinforce it because it is so useful. If you are scared of the dentist, you might put off making the appointment. Or if it is raining, you might put off the picnic. It means to delay. Your turn. Imagine you have to write an essay, but you want to watch TV. Say, I'll just put it off until tomorrow. Well done. Let's go into a phrase that means to change your opinion or your behavior. We say, turn over a new leaf. This is used when someone decides to improve their life. If someone used to be messy but decides to be clean, they are turning over a new leaf. Or if someone quits smoking, they are turning over a new leaf. It implies a fresh start. Let's practice. Imagine a friend was always late, but now buys a watch to be on time. Say, he is turning over a new leaf. Good. Now, if you want to describe a situation that is very confusing and has no clear solution, you can say it's a mess. This is a common, simple expression. If your room is full of clothes and papers, it is a mess. Or if a government policy is poorly planned, it is a mess. Your turn. Imagine a company has lost all its data. Say, the situation is a total mess. Perfect. Now let's look at a phrase that means to be very careful or cautious. We say play it safe. If you are not sure if it will rain, you bring an umbrella to play it safe. Or if you are investing money, you might choose a safe option to play it safe. It means to avoid risk. Now you try. Imagine you are driving and the roads are icy. Say, I'm going to drive slowly to play it safe. Excellent. Now, here is a phrase that means to include someone in a plan. We say bring someone into the loop. If you start a new project at work, you need to bring your team into the loop. Or if you are planning a trip with friends, bring everyone into the loop about the dates. It means to inform them. Practice this one. Imagine you found out some news about the company. Tell your colleague, I need to bring you into the loop on what happened. Great. Moving on, we often use get over when we talk about recovering from something bad. If you have the flu, you need to get over it. If you break up with a boyfriend or girlfriend, it takes time to get over it. It means to heal or recover. Your turn. Imagine a friend is sad about losing their job. Tell them, you will get over it and find a better one. Perfect. Now, if you want to say that you are doing something secretly, you can say behind someone's back. If you talk about your friend to another person without your friend knowing, you are doing it behind their back. Or if you eat a cookie when your mom said no, you are doing it behind her back. It is usually negative. Let's practice. Imagine you hear a rumor that someone is stealing. Say, I heard he is doing it behind the boss's back. Good job. Let's continue with a phrase that means to depend on someone or something. We say count on. This is a very strong expression of trust. If you have a best friend, you can count on them. Or if you need a ride to the airport, you can say, I'm counting on you to pick me up. It means to rely on. Now you try. Imagine a coworker promises to finish a task. Say, I know I can count on you. Great. Now, here is a phrase that means to tell a lie in a way that makes it sound true. We say pull someone's leg. This is usually done as a joke. If your friend tells you they won the lottery, but they are laughing, they are pulling your leg. Or if you see a weird bug and tell your friend it is poisonous as a joke, you are pulling their leg. It is harmless. Your turn. Imagine a friend tells you they are moving to Mars. Laugh and say, stop pulling my leg. Very fun. Moving forward, we often use in the long run when we talk about the distant future. If you exercise every day, you will be healthy in the long run. Or if you save money now, you will be rich in the long run. It means eventually over a long period of time. Let's practice this one. Imagine someone is eating junk food. Tell them it's bad for your health in the long run. Well done. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to be busy doing something. We say in the middle of. If you call someone and they say they are in the middle of cooking, they are busy right now. Or if you are in the middle of a book, you haven't finished it yet. Your turn. Imagine someone asks you to play games but you are cleaning. Say, I can't. I'm in the middle of cleaning. Perfect. Now let's explore a phrase that means to handle a situation calmly and without panic. We say keep your cool. If there is a fire in the building, you need to keep your cool to find the exit. Or if a customer is yelling at you, you need to keep your cool to solve the problem. It means to stay calm. Now you try. Imagine a difficult situation where someone is angry at you. Say you just need to keep your cool and explain. Excellent. Now, here is a phrase that means to achieve a goal or succeed. We say make it. If you want to be a famous singer and you become famous, you made it. Or if you survive a dangerous situation, you made it. It implies success or survival. Practice this one. Imagine a friend wants to be a doctor and finally graduates. Say, congratulations, you finally made it. Great. Let's go into a phrase that means to be very nervous before doing something. We say have butterflies in your stomach. If you are about to give a speech, you have butterflies in your stomach. Or if you are going on a first date, you might have butterflies. It describes a nervous feeling in your stomach. Your turn. Imagine you are about to go on stage. Say, I have butterflies in my stomach. Very descriptive. Now, if you want to say that you are ignoring someone on purpose, you can say give someone the cold shoulder. If you are angry at a friend, you might give them the cold shoulder and not talk to them. Or if someone enters a room and nobody says hello, they are being given the cold shoulder. It is unfriendly. Let's practice. Imagine a friend was mean to you. Say, I'm going to give him the cold shoulder today. Good job. Moving on, we often use call it a night when we want to stop an activity and go to sleep. If you are at a party and you are tired, you might say, I'm going to call it a night. Or if you are working late and it's midnight, you decide to call it a night. It means to go to bed. Now you try. Imagine you and your friends are playing video games late at night. Say, guys, I'm tired. Let's call it a night. Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that means to be very similar to someone else. We say like father, like son. If a dad loves baseball and his son loves baseball, people say like father, like son. Or if a mom and daughter are both very kind, you can say like mother, like daughter. It compares family members. Your turn. Imagine a dad and son are both doctors. Say like father, like son. Excellent. Let's continue with a phrase that means to think carefully about something. We say mull over. If you get a job offer, you need to mull it over before you decide. Or if you are thinking of buying a car, you should mull over the price. It means to consider deeply. Let's practice this one. Imagine you have a big decision to make. Say, I need some time to mull it over. Very good. Now, if you want to describe a situation that is noisy and chaotic, you can say it's a madhouse. If you go to a store on a big sale day, it is a madhouse. Or if you have 5 kids running around your house, it is a madhouse. Your turn. Imagine a train station during rush hour. Say, it is an absolute madhouse in here. Perfect. Now let's look at a phrase that means to be busy with many different things. We say have a lot on your plate. If you are working, studying, and taking care of a sick parent, you have a lot on your plate. Or if you are planning a wedding and moving house at the same time, you have a lot on your plate. It implies being overwhelmed. Now you try. Imagine a friend looks stressed. Ask them, do you have a lot on your plate right now? Excellent. Now, here is a phrase that means to start a relationship with someone. We say hit it off. If you meet someone at a party and you talk for hours and become friends instantly, you hit it off. Or if 2 colleagues start working together and become best friends, they hit it off. It means to get along immediately. Practice this one. Imagine you introduce 2 friends and they like each other. Say, I'm so glad you guys hit it off. Great. Moving forward, we often use no hard feelings when we want to make sure no one is angry after a disagreement. If you beat someone in a game, you might say, no hard feelings, right? Or if you reject a business offer, you can say, I hope there are no hard feelings. It means there are no negative emotions. Your turn. Imagine you accidentally bumped into a stranger and apologized. They might say, no hard feelings. Well done. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to do something without a plan. We say wing it. This is slang and means to improvise. If you didn't practice for a presentation, you have to wing it. Or if you don't have a recipe for dinner, you just wing it. It means to do it without preparation. Let's practice. Imagine your friend asks if you have a speech ready. Say, no, I'm just going to wing it. Perfect. Let's go into a phrase that means to be very obvious or easy to see. We say clear as day. If a mistake in a document is huge, it is clear as day. Or if the sun is shining brightly, the view is clear as day. It means very clear. Your turn. Imagine someone can't find their glasses which are on the table. Say, they are right there, clear as day. Good job. Now, if you want to say that you are tired of hearing someone complain, you can say cry over spilt milk. This is a classic idiom. If someone makes a mistake and keeps talking about it, you say, don't cry over spilt milk. It means it is too late to fix it, so don't worry about it. Let's practice. Imagine a friend is sad about breaking a cup. Tell them, don't cry over spilt milk. It's just a cup. Great. Moving on, we often use step up when we need someone to take action or responsibility. If a team is losing, the captain needs to step up and score a goal. Or if there is a problem at home, someone needs to step up and help. It means to take charge. Now you try. Imagine a group project is failing and nobody is leading. Say, someone needs to step up and take the lead. Excellent. Now, here is a phrase that means to be very quiet and secretive. We say keep it under wraps. If a company is making a new product, they keep it under wraps until the launch. Or if you are planning a surprise, you keep it under wraps. It means to hide it. Practice this one. Imagine you have a secret plan. Say, we need to keep this plan under wraps for now. Very good. Let's continue with a phrase that means to be happy and satisfied. We say on cloud 9. If you just got engaged, you are on cloud 9. Or if you got a promotion, you are on cloud 9. It means extreme happiness. Your turn. Imagine your friend won the lottery. Say, she must be on cloud 9. Perfect. Now, if you want to say that something is very expensive, you can say cost an arm and a leg. This is a very famous idiom. If a car is very fancy, it costs an arm and a leg. Or if a house is in a rich area, it costs an arm and a leg. It means it is very costly. Let's practice. Imagine you see a beautiful but expensive jacket. Say, I love it, but it costs an arm and a leg. Great. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to be in a difficult situation with no escape. We say in a bind. If you have no money to pay rent, you are in a bind. Or if your car breaks down and you are late for work, you are in a bind. It means trouble. Now you try. Imagine you lost your wallet and phone. Say, I'm really in a bind now. Excellent. Now, here is a phrase that means to stop doing something that is not good for you. We say kick the habit. If you smoke too much, you need to kick the habit. Or if you eat too much sugar, you should kick the habit. It means to stop a bad habit. Practice this one. Imagine a friend drinks too much coffee. Tell them you should really kick that habit. Good job. Moving forward, we often use make the most of when we want to enjoy something as much as possible. If you are on vacation and it's your last day, you want to make the most of it. Or if you have a free day, you should make the most of it. It means to utilize fully. Your turn. Imagine it is a sunny Saturday. Say, Let's go to the park and make the most of the weather. Perfect. Now let's look at a phrase that means to be very strict. We say lay down the law. If kids are misbehaving, the parents need to lay down the law. Or if employees are late, the boss needs to lay down the law. It means to set strict rules. Let's practice. Imagine the classroom is noisy. Say, the teacher needs to lay down the law. Very good. Let's go into a phrase that means to connect with someone after a long time. We say, get back in touch. If you haven't spoken to your old friend in years, you want to get back in touch. Or if you lose contact with a client, you try to get back in touch. It means to reconnect. Your turn. Imagine you saw a photo of an old classmate. Say, I really want to get back in touch with her. Well done. Now, if you want to say that you understand how someone feels because you have been in the same situation, you can say, I've been there. If a friend is stressed about exams, you can say, I've been there. It is hard. Or if someone is lost in a new city, you can say, I've been there. It's confusing. It shows empathy. Practice this one. Imagine a friend is heartbroken. Say, I've been there, and it hurts, but you will heal. Excellent. Moving on, we often use keep track of when we want to monitor information or items. If you have many passwords, you need to keep track of them. Or, if you are on a diet, you need to keep track of what you eat. It means to record or monitor. Now you try. Imagine you are lending books to many people. Say, it is hard to keep track of who has which book. Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that means to do something that creates a bigger problem. We say open a can of worms. If you ask about a small mistake and it leads to discovering a huge scandal, you opened a can of worms. Or if you ask a simple question that starts a big argument, you opened a can of worms. It means to cause trouble. Let's practice. Imagine someone wants to investigate a small error. Warn them, be careful. You might open a can of worms. Great. Let's continue with a phrase that means to show your true feelings or personality. We say, let your hair down. If you are usually very serious at work, but at a party you dance and laugh, you are letting your hair down. Or if you have been studying hard and finally relax, you are letting your hair down. It means to relax freely. Your turn. Imagine it is Friday night and you are done with work. Say, I'm going to a party to let my hair down. Very good. Now, if you want to say that you are forced to do something, you can say have no choice. If you need money and have to work, you have no choice. Or if the only flight is early morning, you have no choice but to wake up early. It means obligation. Practice this one. Imagine your boss gives you a task you don't like. Say, I have no choice, I have to do it. Well done. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to be very excited about something. We say can't wait. This is stronger than looking forward to. If you are going on vacation tomorrow, you can't wait. Or if you are going to see a movie, you can't wait. It means you are very impatient with excitement. Now you try. Imagine you are going to eat your favorite food tonight. Say, I can't wait for dinner. Perfect. Now, here is a phrase that means to criticize someone behind their back. We say bad mouth. If you say mean things about your boss to coworkers, you are bad mouthing him. Or if a friend talks negatively about another friend, they are bad mouthing them. It is negative. Let's practice. Imagine you hear someone speaking ill of Jessica. Say, stop bad mouthing her, she is nice. Great. Moving forward, we often use hit the books when we talk about studying. If you have a big exam next week, you need to hit the books. Or if you want to learn a new language, you hit the books. It means to study hard. Your turn. Imagine a friend invites you out but you have an exam. Say, "Sorry, I need to go home and hit the books." Excellent. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to waste money on silly things. We say throw money down the drain. If you buy a car that breaks immediately, you threw money down the drain. Or if you pay for a gym membership but never go, it is money down the drain. It means wasted. Let's practice this one. Imagine someone buys expensive clothes they never wear. Say buying that was like throwing money down the drain. Very good. Let's go into a phrase that means to be in a comfortable and safe situation. We say in the clear, if the police were looking for you but now stopped, you are in the clear. Or if you were sick but now the fever is gone, you are in the clear. It means safe. Your turn. Imagine you finished a difficult project and there are no errors. Say, we are finally in the clear. Perfect. Now, if you want to say that something is annoying, you can say, get on someone's nerves. If a mosquito keeps buzzing, it gets on your nerves. Or if someone keeps tapping a pen, it gets on your nerves. It means to irritate. Practice this one. Imagine a neighbor plays loud music. Say, that music really gets on my nerves. Good job. Moving on, we often use lend a hand when we want to help someone. If a friend is moving furniture, you lend a hand. Or if a colleague is busy, you lend a hand. It means to help. Now you try. Imagine your mom is cooking a big meal. Say, let me lend a hand in the kitchen. Excellent. Now here is a phrase that means to start something new with energy. We say start from scratch. If you ruin a drawing, you start from scratch. Or if you want to build a company with nothing, you start from scratch. It means from the beginning with no help. Let's practice. Imagine you are baking a cake and it falls on the floor. Say, well, I have to start from scratch. Great. Let's continue with a phrase that means to stay calm in a difficult situation. We say keep a straight face. If someone tells a funny joke but you need to be serious, you keep a straight face. Or if a child is being silly and you are the teacher, you keep a straight face. It means not to laugh. Your turn. Imagine your boss is wearing a funny tie but you shouldn't laugh. Say, it is hard to keep a straight face. Very good. Now, if you want to say that you accept a situation, you can say come to terms with. If you lose your job, you need to come to terms with it. Or if a loved one passes away, you come to terms with the loss. It means to accept reality. Practice this one. Imagine a friend is sad about breaking up. Tell them it'll take time to come to terms with it. Excellent. Now let's look at a phrase that means to create a good relationship. We say build bridges. If two countries are fighting, they need to build bridges. Or if you argued with a friend, you need to build bridges. It means to make peace. Now you try. Imagine two departments in a company don't talk to each other. Say, we need to build bridges between the teams. Perfect. Now, here's a phrase that means to not have enough of something. We say run short. If you are cooking and don't have enough rice, you run short. Or if you are talking on the phone and running out of time, you run short. It means to lack something. Let's practice. Imagine you are at a party and the drinks are almost gone. Say, we are running short on drinks. Great. Moving forward, we often use speak of the devil when the person you are talking about suddenly appears. If you are talking about Tom and then Tom walks in, you say, speak of the devil. It is a humorous expression. Your turn. Imagine you are talking about your teacher and she walks into the room. Whisper, speak of the devil. Well done. Now, let's look at a phrase that means to understand what is happening. We say get the picture. If you explain a complex situation and someone understands, they get the picture. Or if you give hints and someone understands, they get the picture. It means to understand. Let's practice this one. Imagine you are explaining why you are late. Say, I think you get the picture of why I was delayed. Very good. Let's go into a phrase that means to avoid a difficult situation. We say beat around the bush. If you want to ask for money but talk about the weather first, you are beating around the bush. Or if you have bad news but don't want to say it directly, you beat around the bush. It means to delay saying the main point. Your turn. Imagine a friend is talking too much without giving you the answer. Say, stop beating around the bush and tell me. Perfect. Now, if you want to say that you are happy because something good happened, you can say hit the spot. If you are thirsty and drink cold water, it hits the spot. Or if you are hungry and eat a warm meal, it hits the spot. It means very satisfying. Practice this one. Imagine you eat a delicious ice cream on a hot day. Say, wow, that ice cream really hit the spot. Great. We have now covered an incredible collection of 100 expressions in this masterclass, and I am so proud of you for sticking with it and practicing these phrases out loud. Learning English is a marathon, not a sprint, and every new phrase you learn is a step forward. We have explored how to talk about secrets, how to describe emotions, how to handle social situations, how to manage work, and so much more. I want you to try and use at least 3 of these new phrases in your conversations this week. Whether you are speaking to a colleague, a friend, or even just practicing in front of a mirror, using them will help them stick. The goal here is to move from translating in your head to thinking directly in English, and these phrases are the building blocks of that fluency. I hope you found this extended episode helpful and inspiring. Remember, you can always listen to this again to review the meanings and the pronunciation. Thank you so much for tuning in to English in Advance. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review if you are enjoying the show. I am Jessica, and I will see you in the next episode. Keep practicing, stay curious, and take care.